Now we'll move to the next presentation, which will take us to Estonia, where we will discuss a project around tugboats, which is an intangible heritage of the Soomaa National Park. Aivar, do you want to take the floor?
Hello, I hope you hear me.
Yes, we hear you well. Please.
So, thank you.
Go.
Thank you, Olivier, and all the others. My first EUROPARC conference, so it has been very useful 2 days. So, Estonia has 6 national parks, Soomaa being one of them, and the main landscape, the main type of nature here is peat bogs, the wetlands. But also we have a system of rivers, and why it is special is that all these rivers are in the natural shape. So additionally to 4 seasons, we have also something called the 5th season, which is a regular flood. So I'm very sorry about those of you who maybe suffered last summer, and of course in many places in the world, flood is something people are not really waiting. And if it comes, it is a catastrophe. So for our park, it is not a catastrophe, but it's just a natural phenomenon and part of the natural value of the area. So next slide, please. And there is not much cultural heritage in the park. It's a wilderness area. Very few people live in the middle of these peat bogs and along these rivers, but there are some villages. And main kind of symbolic cultural heritage thing is the survival of really oldest kind of boats made of one piece of tree. It is aspen, Populus tremula, that we use. And I am being a guide here in the area, but also being one of the builders of the boat. So 25 years ago, during 5 summers, we had a camp where 2 old masters, that time last boat builders, was instructing us, and we was building a boat. So now, next please. Few years ago, the idea came that we should kind of highlight this heritage of traditional dugout canoes, and through in cooperation with the Minister of Culture, we applied for the nomination in the intangible heritage list of UNESCO. So it's not yet decided. It's a long process, but for Christmas we will have a decision to be made. And the reason maybe for speaking it here and telling this story, sharing it with you, is of course EUROPARC is mostly for the conservation of nature. But of course, in these areas, there are some local people with their local heritage. And my message for all the parks in EUROPARC, or those of them who have a local population within the park or around the park, to focus on this part of the cultural heritage, and maybe create a network within the network for communication about the intangible heritage, and even eventually creating some project together. So I am very happy if I didn't spend all the 5 minutes, but finished my presentation earlier. You know, Estonians, we have been Christianized by Germans, and there is a lot of influence from German culture, punctuality. So there is even a saying that we want to be more Germans than Germans are. In this sense. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Aivar. That was a very interesting presentation, and we certainly at the EUROPARC Federation certainly values the intricate relationship between nature and culture, and between the communities and the landscape. So so I think we've heard your call to create subgroups, and or at least to facilitate discussion around cultural heritage. Now we'll move to